When you cling, everything feels heavy. The mind spins with worry. What if this fails? What if that person leaves? What if tomorrow ruins me? But when you let go, the mind softens. The storm slows. Suddenly, there is room for silence, and in that silence, peace. Love too breathes only in freedom. Hold someone too tightly, and love suffocates. But set them free, and the bond deepens in ways grasping could never achieve. Because love is not ownership, love is space. And in that space it grows. Think of all the times you tried to control the path of your life, only to be led somewhere else entirely. Later you realized that detour was a gift, that fall was a turning, that loss was protection. Life was guiding you all along while you were busy clutching. To let go is to say, I trust the flow more than my fear. I trust that what is mine will remain, and what leaves was never meant to stay. Leaving isn't running away from life, it's letting life do its own work. You act, but you don't chain yourself to the result. That's the heart of the Gita's teaching. Do your duty, but release the fruit. The moment you release, work turns from burden into joy. And that joy itself creates the success you once chased so tightly. The same is true in love. When you cling to someone you're mine, you can't leave me, love begins to suffocate. Real love breathes only in freedom. If the person stays, they stay by love, not compulsion. If they go, their leaving too is grace, because what truly belongs to you can never be lost. To let go in love is the highest test, and whoever learns this knows love's essence. Letting go is saying yes to life. Holding is always a no, a demand that life bend to your script. That refusal is what hurts you. But when you loosen your grip, you whisper, as it is enough. That acceptance opens the door of meditation. That acceptance dissolves inner conflict. That is why those who learn to release shine with a certain lightness. Even the body carries this truth. Think how stress and control harden the heart, raise the blood pressure, steal your sleep. Anxiety itself is clenching. And when you release, the body unknots, the mind relaxes, and health begins to return on its own. Truly, when you let go, healing happens. But still, we believe we can control everything. Can you stop your breath at will? Command your heartbeat? Tell the sun not to rise? Not even the smallest law of existence bends to us. Yet we cling to the illusion that life itself can be grasped. That illusion is pain. When it breaks, you finally see nothing needs your grip to flow. Letting go is surrender. Not defeat, but trust. A trust that says, I am not alone. Life itself carries me. And when you surrender, you find yourself lifted in ways your own effort never could achieve. That surrender becomes your greatest strength. And then comes freedom. Clutching always cages you in fear, in craving, in insecurity. Release raises you above all of it. In release is freedom. In freedom is joy. In freedom is the soul's wholeness. This is why the words "leave it and it will be all right" are not just words, they are life's deepest law. To leave is not to escape the outer world, it is to silence the inner struggle. Every one of us clings to some hurt, some memory, some insult, some expectation. That clinging drags us backward into the past and blinds us to the present. Letting go is nothing but trust made alive. Only the one who trusts life can release his grip. The one without trust clings tighter and tighter. We fear that if we loosen our hold, everything will scatter. Yet the moment we trust and release, we see that life is wiser than our plans. It gives not what we want, but what we need, and often against our desires. That's why letting go is a spiritual leap. It places you directly in the lap of existence. Remember, too, it isn't just freedom from pain, it's freedom from pleasure. Clinging to joy hurts just as much as clinging to sorrow. When a sweet moment comes and you crave to hold it forever, that very craving becomes suffering. Life's law is change. Joy shifts, sorrow shifts. The one who sees this stops clutching at both. He experiences, appreciates, and releases. In that balance lies peace. Letting go is not a technique, but a deep seeing. When you clearly see that clinging has only given wounds, the grip falls away on its own. No effort is needed. Like dropping hot iron, the hand releases it naturally. In the same way, when you see clearly that grasping is pain, you simply let it drop. It also shows us what love really is. Most people confuse love with possession. If you love me, you are mine alone. That is not love. It is a prison. True love whispers, "You are free. Whether with me or not, my love remains." This love is born only when clinging dies. And in it there is no fear, no insecurity, no demand, only freedom and surrender. Release even feeds creativity. A mind always tense about tomorrow cannot create. But when you let go, the mind becomes open, fresh, playful. New ideas arise, inspiration flows. The greatest poets, saints, and musicians have said their finest work came when they let go, when existence itself flowed through them. And yes, letting go dissolves even death. What terrifies us about death is its power to snatch away. But the one who has already let go of possessions, of ties, of ego, has nothing left for death to steal. That is why saints smile at the end. For them, death is the final release. Don't mistake this, though. Letting go isn't abandoning life. It isn't neglecting duties or running from relationships. It is dropping the obsession with results. You fulfill your role with awareness and sincerity, but you don't chain yourself to outcomes. That is real renunciation. That is true meditation. That is karma yoga. Paradoxically, when you cling, you think you are gaining, but you are only losing. When you release, you feel you are losing, but in truth, you gain everything. This is the deepest paradox of life. Let go, and everything falls into place. It shows us how foolish our obsession with Control Island. We imagine that if we plan enough, save enough, hold on to enough people, life will obey us. But has anyone ever truly controlled life? The mightiest kings couldn't stop death. The richest men couldn't escape sorrow. The wisest philosophers couldn't bend the future. Control itself is illusion. Illusion falls away the moment you let go. Then you see, life was already in balance. It never needed your grip. Fear is the mother of clinging. We cling to people because we fear loneliness. We cling to money because we fear tomorrow. We cling to reputation because we fear losing respect. But the one who releases becomes free of all these fears. He discovers that true security is not outside, it is inside. If there is peace within, no storm outside can shake you. Letting go means shifting your trust from the outer grip to the inner strength. It roots you in the present. Clinging always drags you into yesterday's memories or tomorrow's hopes, leaving you blind to the now. Yet life exists only here, only in this breath. When you let go, your mind drops the weight of past and future and rests in the present. That rest is meditation. That rest is celebration. Every experience is temporary. Joy comes and goes. Sorrow comes and goes. Success and failure both pass. But we clutch at them, praying they stay forever. This demand creates pain. When you release, you watch each experience like a traveler passing through your door, arriving, teaching, and leaving. This vision makes you light. This vision makes you peaceful. Love, too, is tested in letting go. If your love is built on possession, it slowly dies. But if it is rooted in freedom, it deepens endlessly. True love gives wings, not chains. If someone returns even after being free, that is love's truth. If they don't, that too is love's truth. For love never demands ownership. Love is release, and in release, it finds its depth. Understand, letting go is not laziness or escape. It is not dropping duties or fleeing from life. It is working fully, sincerely, but not chaining yourself to the result. This is exactly what Krishna spoke in the Gita. Do your duty. Release the fruit. When you release the fruit, work stops being burden. It becomes play. And play makes life light and joyful. Clinging is always a prison. A gripped relationship becomes suffocation. A gripped fortune becomes anxiety. A gripped reputation forces you to live in other people's eyes. But when you release, you are free. Now you live from within. That freedom is real joy. Letting go is the maturity of the soul. Children clutch their toys and cry when taken away. But as they grow, they realize the toy was never everything. In the same way, the mature soul sees that wealth, status, relationships are passing, and crying over them is useless. With that maturity comes release, and with release comes the soul's greatest growth. When you let go, a lightness fills you, and that lightness is the door to meditation. No one can fly with baggage, but when you release, you rise. That rising leads to God. That lightness is the taste of freedom, the touch of liberation. When the grip relaxes, the noise inside slowly fades. Then silence appears, and that silence is the door to truth. Meditation is nothing else but this. Release the grip. Descend into quiet. And when you do, life shows you a secret nothing was ever yours. Not this body, which nature lent you for a while and will one day reclaim. Not the relationships you call mine, for people come and go at their appointed hour. Not the wealth you guard so tightly, which you cannot carry beyond the grave. The moment this truth sinks in, letting go becomes natural. And that natural ease is liberation. This release is not only spiritual freedom, it is also the secret to peace in daily life. Imagine carrying every insult, every harsh word, every mistake of others, like stones in your pocket. How heavy your heart would be. But if you can let them fall, you become light again. Then you can look at people with fresh eyes, give relationships a new beginning, and even sit in your own work with clarity. Letting go is not an escape from life. It is the only way to see life as it is. Clinging always clouds vision. We don't see people as they are, we see them as we want them to be. That desire blinds us. But when you release, the eyes clear. You begin to see that people are fine as they are, circumstances are fine as they are, and life just as it is already beautiful. Even death reveals its truth through letting go. To most it looks like loss. But one who has practiced small releases knows death is not losing, but returning. Returning to the source from which we came. If you have learned to drop little by little in life, the final dropping too becomes easy. For such a soul, death is not terror, it is celebration. Love too breathes only in release. To say you are mine and only mine is not love, it is captivity. True love says, you are free whether you stay or you leave. I love you. That is why a mother's love is called pure. She does not chain the child. She sets it free. Freedom is love's greatest sign. Letting go gives courage. Fear always grows from grasping. But one who has released has nothing left to lose. And the one with nothing to lose is fearless. Such a person accepts life, accepts death, and walks unshaken. That is the strength of saints. In letting go, you discover your wholeness. You thought you were incomplete and needed to hold things to become complete. But it was the holding that made you feel incomplete. When the grip drops, the sense of lack drops too. Then the soul tastes its true fullness. Release also teaches the truth of time. We wish to trap sweet moments so they never end, and push bitter ones so they pass quickly. But time listens to no one. It moves by its own law. The moment you stop trying to cage it, you begin to enjoy every breath, whether sweet or bitter, for what it island. This makes life simple. This makes life joyful. And finally, letting go awakens gratitude. Clinging always says, more, more, more. But release makes you see, I already have so much. This body, this breath, this sky, this earth, everything is a gift. Gratitude fills the heart, and when the heart is full, life gives even more. Gratitude makes the heart rich. Letting go reveals that the real treasure is never outside, it is always within. Everything outside shifts and slips away. If you cling to it, insecurity will haunt you forever. But the quiet inside, the love inside, the silence inside that is steady, that is unchanging. And to reach it, only one step is needed. Release the outer grip. The moment you loosen it, you fall back into your inner wealth. That wealth is your true identity. Letting go opens the door to meditation. Meditation is not something you do, it is what remains when grasping drops. When the grip of thought softens, when the grip of desires dissolves, when the grip of ego falls away, then silence descends. That silence is meditation. That silence is liberation. That silence is God's presence felt. Life itself is a flowing current. If you try to trap it, you only create struggle. If you flow with it, joy is born. A river never drowns the one who moves with its stream, only the one who fights against it. Life is the same. Flow with it. Release the resistance. Everything will begin to right itself. Holding keeps you at the surface. Releasing draws you into depth. On the surface, there is always noise, always battle. In the depths, there is calm. And those depths open only when you let go. That is where the soul is met. That is where the divine is touched. So this phrase, let go, everything will be all right, is not just advice. It is the law of existence. Life is already in balance. Nothing is missing. The only thing asked of you is to loosen the grip. The moment you do, peace arrives, freedom arrives, love arrives, silence arrives,